Episode 2, World Shift Choices Resurface. Destroyer of Worlds. The words burned into my brain, even as the sickly green skyline threatened to overwhelm me. My face on that billboard, cold and powerful, was a nightmare version of myself. This wasn't just a different reality, it was a consequence. I stumbled away from the newsstand, pushing through the listless crowds. The air tasted like ash, coating my tongue with a gritty residue. Every cough echoed in the oppressive silence that hung over the city, broken only by the occasional screech of rusted metal. "What have I done?" I whispered, but the wind snatched the words away. A figure detached itself from the shadows of a crumbling building. Tall, gaunt, with eyes that held a spark of defiance. It was a man, maybe in his 50s, wearing tattered clothes that had once been a sharp suit. He looked at me with a mixture of hope and suspicion. "You," he said, his voice hoarse. "You're her, aren't you?" "Keira," I hesitated. I don't know what you're talking about." He laughed, a dry, rattling sound. "Don't play coy. Everyone in this city knows your face. You built it and you destroyed it. I didn't build anything," I protested. "I just got here." His eyes narrowed. "Just got here. What is that supposed to mean?" Before I could answer, a siren wailed in the distance, growing louder with terrifying speed. The man grabbed my arm, pulling me into the shelter of the building. "We need to move. Now. The enforcers will be here soon." "Enforcers? What are they?" "Your dogs," he spat. "The ones who keep order in this wasteland. The ones who enforce your laws." He didn't wait for me to catch up, pulling me deeper into the building's decaying interior. It was dark, and the air was thick with the smell of mildew and despair. We navigated through piles of rubble and discarded belongings, signs of lives lived and abandoned. "Where are we going?" I asked, my voice trembling. "To a safe place. A place where your enforcers can't reach us." "Why are you helping me?" He stopped, turning to face me in the dim light. "Because I remember what this city was like before you came along. Before the promises, before the lies, before the fall. I don't understand," I said, my head spinning. "I'm not that person. I'm not a destroyer of worlds." "Maybe not," he conceded. "But you wear her face. And that's enough to get you killed in the city." The sirens were getting closer, their wail echoing through the streets. We reached a narrow staircase, leading down into the darkness. "Hurry," he urged. "They're coming." We descended into the depths of the building, the air growing colder and damper with each step. Finally, we reached a door, hidden behind a crumbling wall. The man pushed it open, revealing a small, cramped room. "This is it," he said. "It's not much, but it's safe." For now, the room was sparsely furnished with a cot, a table, and a single flickering candle. Several other people were huddled in the corners, their faces etched with weariness. They looked at me with suspicion and fear. "Who is this?" a woman asked, her voice sharp. "She's complicated," the man said. "But she needs our help." He turned to me. "This is Sarah, and that's David. They're survivors." "Like me, survivors of what?" I asked. "Of you," Sarah said, her eyes filled with hatred. "Enough," the man said, his voice firm. "She's here now, and we need to focus on staying alive." He turned to me. "My name is Elias. I used to work for Keira Industries. I saw what you did, what she did. I know the truth." "Then tell me," I pleaded. "Tell me what happened here. Tell me why I'm being called a destroyer." Elias sighed, running a hand through his thinning hair. "It's a long story. But the short version is this. You, or rather she, promised to save the city. It was dying, choked by pollution and corruption. Keira Industries developed a new technology, something that could clean the air, purify the water, solve all our problems." "What was it?" "Energy," Elias said. "A new source of clean, limitless energy. But it came at a price. A price we didn't realize until it was too late." "What price?" "Control," Elias said. "She wanted control. She used the energy to consolidate her power, to crush any opposition. And then something went wrong. The energy became unstable. It started to poison the city, to corrupt everything it touched. And she couldn't stop it. She didn't want to," Elias said bitterly. "She was too busy consolidating her power. She was too busy becoming a god. But why? Why would she do that?" "Power corrupts," David said, his voice barely a whisper. "Absolute power corrupts absolutely." The sirens were still wailing, drawing closer. Elias looked at me, his eyes filled with a mixture of pity and resolve. "The enforcers will be here soon," he said. "We need to move. There's a network of tunnels beneath the city. It's our only chance. Tunnels? I asked. Where do they lead? To the outside, Elias said. To the wastelands beyond the city. It's a dangerous journey, but it's better than staying here and waiting to die. He grabbed a backpack, stuffing it with supplies. We need to go now. Are you with us? I looked at their faces, etched with hardship and distrust. But I also saw a spark of hope, a flicker of defiance. I knew I couldn't stay in the city, not with that billboard hanging over my head. I had to find out the truth, to understand what had happened here. I'm with you, I said, my voice firm. Elias nodded. Good. Then let's go. We moved quickly, slipping through the shadows of the building. Elias led the way, navigating the labyrinthine corridors with ease. We reached a hidden door, concealed behind a pile of rubble. He pulled it open, revealing a dark, narrow tunnel. This is it, he said. After you. I hesitated, looking back at the city, at the crumbling skyscrapers and the sickly green sky. This was my fault somehow. This was the consequence of a choice I had never made, but a choice that was still a part of me. I took a deep breath and stepped into the tunnel. The darkness closed in around me, swallowing me whole. We walked for what felt like hours, the tunnel stretching on endlessly before us. The air was thick with the smell of damp earth and decay. The only sound was the echo of our footsteps and the occasional drip of water. How much further? I asked, my voice hoarse. Not far now, Elias said. Just a few more miles. Miles, I exclaimed. I don't know if I can make it. You have to, Sarah said, her voice surprisingly gentle. We all do. We continued on, our bodies aching, our spirits flagging. Just when I thought I couldn't take another step, Elias stopped. We're here, he said. The exit, he pointed to a faint light at the end of the tunnel. We hurried towards it, our hearts filled with hope. We reached the end of the tunnel and emerged into the wasteland. The landscape was desolate, barren, stretching on as far as the eye could see. The sky was a dull gray, and the air was cold and dry. Welcome to the outside, Elias said, his voice grim. It's not much better than the city, but it's free. We started walking, our faces turned towards the horizon. I looked back at the city, at the towering skyscrapers and the sickly green sky. It was a monument to my failure, a testament to the destructive power of choice. As we walked, I noticed something strange in the distance. A figure standing on a hill, watching us. It was tall, cloaked in shadow, its face obscured by a deep hood. Who is that? I asked, my voice trembling. Elias stopped, his eyes widening with fear. I don't know, he said. But I don't like it. The figure raised its hand, and a bolt of energy shot towards us. It struck the ground just a few feet away, sending a shower of dirt and rocks into the air. Run, Elias yelled. Run for your lives. We turned and fled, our feet pounding against the hard earth. The figure pursued us, firing bolts of energy that exploded around us. Who is that? I screamed, my lungs burning. I don't know, Elias yelled back. But they want us dead. We ran as fast as we could, but the figure was faster. It was gaining on us, its energy blasts getting closer and closer. Just when I thought we were doomed, a figure appeared in front of us. It was Vane, her sword drawn, her face grim. Get behind me, she yelled. I'll handle this. Vane charged towards the figure, her sword flashing in the dull light. They clashed, their weapons meeting with a deafening clang. Vane, I cried. What are you doing here? I told you, Keira, she said without looking at me, deflecting a blow from the cloaked figure. I'm here to train you, train me. Now. We're about to die, not if I can help it, Vane said. Now watch and learn. She fought with a ferocity that I had never seen before. Her movements were fluid, precise, deadly. She dodged the figure's energy blasts with ease, her sword a blur of motion. You can't protect them, Keira, Vane, the cloaked figure hissed. Their destiny is sealed. We'll see about that, Vane retorted, striking a blow that forced the figure to retreat. The battle raged on, the air filled with the clash of steel and the roar of energy. Vane was holding her own, but the figure was powerful. I could see that she was tiring. Keira, Vane yelled, her voice strained. I need your help. Use your spark. My spark, I asked, confused. I don't know how. Think of what you want to do, Vane said. Focus your anger, your fear, your determination. Let it flow through you. I closed my eyes, trying to concentrate. I thought of the city, of the people suffering, of the billboard with my face on it. I felt a surge of anger, a burning desire to set things right. I opened my eyes, and I saw a ball of energy forming in my hands. It was small, unstable, but it was there. That's it, Vane yelled. Now aim it at that cloaked freak. I hesitated. I didn't know if I could do it. I didn't know if I could control the energy. Do it, Keira, Vane screamed. Or we're all dead. I took a deep breath and hurled the ball of energy at the cloaked figure. It struck true, engulfing the figure in a blinding flash of light. When the light subsided, the figure was gone. Vanished without a trace. Vane stood there, panting, her sword dripping with sweat. She looked at me with a mixture of pride and concern. You did it, she said. You used your spark. I did, I stammered, my hands shaking. You have a lot of potential, Keira, Vane said. But you also have a lot to learn. She turned to Elias, Sarah, and David. You need to get out of here. Go north towards the mountains. There's a settlement there. They'll take you in. What about you? Elias asked. What are you going to do? I'm going to train, Keira, Vane said. We have a long journey ahead of us. She turned to me. Come on, Keira. We need to move. They'll be back. Who will be back? I asked. Them, Vane said grimly. The ones who want to control the multiverse. The ones who want to use you for their own twisted purposes. We started walking, leaving the wasteland behind us. I looked back at the city, at the crumbling skyscrapers and the sickly green sky. It was a reminder of what I had to fight against, of what I had to become. As we walked, Vane told me about the multiverse, about the different realities, about the forces that were trying to tear it apart. She told me about my powers, about the potential I had, about the responsibility that rested on my shoulders. You're not just a graphic designer anymore, Keira, she said. You're a nexus point. A key to saving the multiverse. And you need to be ready. Ready for what? I asked. Ready for anything, Vane said. Because the journey ahead of us is going to be long, dangerous, and unpredictable. We walked for days, traveling through desolate landscapes and treacherous terrains. Vane trained me relentlessly, pushing me to my limits. She taught me how to control my spark, how to fight, how to survive. I learned to harness my anger, my fear, my determination. I learned to channel the energy that flowed through me, to use it to protect myself and others. I was still scared, but I was also determined. I knew that I had a responsibility, a purpose. I had to stop the forces that were trying to destroy the multiverse. One evening, as we were camped by a fire, Vane told me something that changed everything. There's something you need to know about your powers, Keira, she said. What is it? I asked. Your spark, she said. It's not just about manipulating energy. It's about manipulating reality itself. What do you mean? You can shape the worlds around you, Vane said. You can create, you can destroy, you can alter the very fabric of existence. That's impossible, I said. It's not impossible, Vane said. It's what makes you so dangerous. And it's what makes you so important. She paused, looking at me intently. But there's a catch. A catch. Using your powers to manipulate reality, Vane said, it comes at a price. What price? I asked, my heart pounding. Every time you alter a reality, Vane said, you create a ripple effect. You change the course of events, you create new timelines, you unleash unforeseen consequences. So what? I asked. So you have to be careful, Vane said. Because every choice you make, every action you take can have devastating repercussions. But what if I make the wrong choice? I asked. Vane looked at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of sadness and resolve. Then you'll have to live with the consequences, she said. Just like that, Keira did. She gestured towards the wasteland. But there's more. There's a way to move between worlds on your own without the fracture. How? It's a closely guarded secret, one that Alara entrusted to me should you prove worthy. And I have. You are learning fast, Keira. Faster than I expected. But to control your power, you need to understand the source. What is that? Your choices, Keira. Each world you've seen reflects a path not taken. But they are all connected to you. So, how do I travel by choice, not by accident? You need a guide, Keira. Someone who has mastered the art of interdimensional travel. Someone who can teach you the secrets of the multiverse. Who? There is one. But he is not easy to find. They call him the Weaver. The Weaver. What does he do? He weaves the threads of reality, Keira. He knows the pathways between worlds. He can guide you to any reality you desire. Where do we find him? Vane looked towards the horizon, her eyes filled with a distant longing. He lives in a place where the veil between worlds is thin. A place of chaos and uncertainty. A place called the Shifting Sands. The Shifting Sands. What's that? It's a desert world, Keira. A place where the laws of physics are constantly changing. A place where reality itself is fluid. Sounds dangerous, I said. It is, Vane said. But it's the only way to find the Weaver. And we need him if we're going to save the multiverse. So, we're going to the shifting sands? I asked. Yes, Keira, Vane said. We're going to the shifting sands. But first, there's something else we need to do. What is it? Vane looked at me, her eyes filled with a steely resolve. We need to find Alara, she said. But I thought she was gone. Maybe. But I felt it, Keira. A ripple, a shift. She's alive. Somewhere. And if anyone knows how to navigate the shifting sands, it's her. How do we find her? Vane smiled grimly. We follow the echoes, Keira. The echoes of her magic. They'll lead us to her. And then we'll be ready to face whatever the multiverse throws at us. She stood up, her sword gleaming in the firelight. Come on, Keira. We have a lot of ground to cover. We packed our meager belongings and set off into the night, following the faint whispers of Alara's magic. The journey ahead of us was uncertain, dangerous, but I knew that we had to keep going. The fate of the multiverse depended on it. As we walked, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. That somewhere in the shadows, the forces of darkness were gathering, waiting for us to make a mistake. And I knew that if we did, it could be the end of everything. I glanced back at Vane, her face set with determination. She was strong, capable, but even she couldn't do this alone. I took a deep breath, steeling myself for the challenges ahead. I was no longer just a graphic designer from Brooklyn. I was Keira, a nexus point, a key to saving the multiverse. And I wouldn't let it fall. We crested a ridge, and Vane stopped. She pointed to a distant glow on the horizon. What is that? I asked. Vane's face paled. It can't be, she whispered. It's a fracture storm, a fracture storm. What's that? A tear in reality, Keira. A place where different worlds collide. It's unpredictable, dangerous, and it can destroy everything in its path. The glow intensified, growing brighter with each passing moment. I could feel the energy radiating from it, a chaotic, destructive force. We need to get out of here, I said. Now, it's too late, Vane said. It's coming this way. The ground began to shake, the air crackling with energy. The sky turned a swirling vortex of colors, and the world around us began to distort. Hold on, Keira, Vane yelled. This is going to be rough. The fracture storm engulfed us, tearing at our bodies, our minds, our souls. I felt myself being pulled in different directions, as if the very fabric of reality was trying to rip me apart. Then, everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was no longer in the wasteland. I was standing in a different place, a different world. This time, I was in a lush, tropical jungle, the air thick with humidity and the sound of exotic birds. But something was wrong. Terribly wrong. The trees were twisted, grotesque, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The air was filled with a strange, unsettling hum, and the ground beneath my feet felt strangely soft. I stumbled forward, trying to get my bearings. Then I saw it. A clearing, bathed in an eerie green light. In the center of the clearing stood a figure, tall and gaunt, its face obscured by a deep hood. It turned to face me, and I gasped. It was me. But not me. This version of myself was twisted, corrupted, her eyes glowing with a malevolent light. Welcome, Keira, she said, her voice a chilling whisper. Welcome to your paradise, to be continued.